3 months after dropping out of a top US law school along with my scholarship, I was in a very different classroom, watching safety videos trying to get my bus driver's license. And I remember sitting there thinking, did I just throw my life away? Just over a year ago, I dropped out of law school to pursue a creative career. Now, this isn't a story about me dropping out, locking in, and then living out my entire dream within this year. I wish it was. This is the emotional roller coaster of what has been happening over this last year. Now, I have to go back a couple of years to my mid-20s. I genuinely just felt lost, and I didn't know what to do, nor what I wanted. Any time that I wasn't spending grinding League, trying to climb, I was spending daydreaming about all of the things that I wanted to do. That was YouTube, making videos, and actually making a career. But I just didn't know how. I knew that something had to change because I felt like I was just wasting away and pushing adulthood into the future. But my brother, being a lawyer in big law, kind of showed me what that life could give. The security, the financial stability, and also like the societal respect that comes with a high-earning, highly educated job. And law school to me in that moment felt like a chance to leave this self behind. I would move to a new city, a new country, be completely alone, and have the opportunity to start fresh. And I saw this as a win-win situation. I had a scholarship at a good school, I could make some money, get some investments, move to the US, and also start a YouTube channel on the side. And I could always pivot out of law in the next 5 to 10 years. This was something I'd done ever since I was a kid. If I didn't know what I wanted, I would always default to the most societally accepted option, I guess. But the scary part about that was that from the outside, it looked like I was making a good decision. And to anyone else, it looked like my decision. But I think deep down, it never was. I had everything planned out. Law school was gonna be perfect. I was building my way to a stable, safe, well-paying, and well-respected career. But at the same time, living a life that other people were interested in so I could launch my YouTube career as well. I would leave this old version of me behind, make new friends in a new city where nobody knew me, and build this dream life. And in the beginning, it honestly felt great. I moved to a beautiful city, I was surrounded by motivated people. It felt exactly like the reset that I needed. But as the excitement faded, I found myself sitting in class, more excited by the fact that some of my YouTube videos were doing well than anything related to the law. Instead of looking for an internship or connecting with lawyers and law firms to try and get something for the summer, I found myself more excited trying to get more involved in the social media side of law school. And honestly, seeing professors that have been teaching for like 50 years and committing a lifetime to their career, I just couldn't see the same for myself, at least in the law. I can't explain the feeling, but I remember sitting there on the stairs, and in my stomach, I just knew that something wasn't right. It felt as though I was avoiding something. Something that meant so much to me that I didn't even want to risk the chance of failing. At a certain point, it felt like it was no longer my choice to be there. But I was forcing myself because of how much time I had poured into prepping and the money I'd spent and all the effort to move to a new country. But when I realized that, the moment I got home, I started to write the email. So I dropped out. Years of my life just thrown away with one simple email. But with every big decision, I feel like this might just be a me thing, but I always picture what the situation will kind of be like. My friends and family disappointed in me and crushed by the fact that I'd wasted so much time. But me locking in and letting the passion fuel this grind, proving to myself that I had made the right decision. But the funny thing is that anytime I envision what things will be like, it tends to be completely wrong. Months after I dropped out, my family and friends honestly weren't that concerned. I didn't lock in at all. Fell back into the old patterns of just wasting my time, and it almost felt like I had just landed at ground zero. And it was in those moments where I was just like laying in bed or on the couch, where the questions that really hurt started to pop in my head. Am I just a quitter? If I quit something that took so much time and effort, what's stopping me from quitting again? And what if I'm not the person that I think I am? What if I'm not able to do the things that I thought I could? What if I'm just not good enough? Some of the hardest moments during this time was The fact that a couple of months ago I was sitting in a classroom learning case law, but now I was sitting in a different classroom at 7 a.m. learning about how fast you have to drive in rain conditions and snow conditions and blind spots on a bus. I would spend hours making videos on the YouTube channel that I started when I was in law school, but now every time I uploaded a video, I would lose subscribers. Felt like I had almost moved backwards. And to be honest, during that time, I was the closest I have ever been to just quitting altogether. I did quit one thing. I stopped trying to become a bus driver because I realized I don't think I'm built for that. But I knew I wanted to do something with videos. I just didn't know where to start. So I just started going outside. No plans whatsoever. I knew I wasted my time if I just stayed inside. So I just leave and take my camera with me. But this tiny little action, this seemingly pointless thing of just going outside and filming with no plan whatsoever, felt like a critical moment where something shifted. Slowly, I started to get a little bit more comfortable. I started to make more videos. And on one of these random trips to one of the most popular video spots in Calgary, I met this DJ. And he's setting up his table, but he spots me and my camera, and he tells me that he's also here to film something. And he just asked me if I'd be willing to shoot something for him, and that he's willing to pay. At the time, I had no experience filming anything like DJ related. The most I had done was political campaigns, little spec ads for food and restaurants, so I didn't feel comfortable taking his money. But we shot this super quick, like 20-minute shoot, and I threw something together and sent it his way. I remember being so nervous about his reaction because it was something that I'd never done, and it almost felt like a test as to whether or not I actually made good videos. But when he came back to me with this was one of his favorite videos, the best on his page by far, it was one step towards the thing that I wanted to do. The one that I hate to admit is that my girlfriend pushed me to do short form. For the longest time, I had avoided short form like the plague. I didn't think it would do anything for me, but she convinced me that trying doesn't hurt. But I accepted it as a challenge to try and upload 100 videos over 3 months, just short form, showing up every single day to make one video, because I understood the fact that this whole YouTube game was going to take way longer than I expected. And I was okay with the fact that I was going to have to make over 100 plus long form videos just to get monetized. But I think when I changed my mindset from when the fuck is this thing going to actually happen to I'm going to commit to this 100% no matter how long it takes, surprisingly, the results came faster. Losing was no longer about the numbers or the analytics. It was just not showing up every day. Winning now was about staying up to do something that was important to me. Showing up every single day and showing myself that I was someone that can do the things that I say I will. And it finally felt like I was making progress. Now, I didn't mention that there was one specific thing that actually influenced my decision to drop out. When I was looking for these social media jobs or video jobs, I saw one specific listing from Bells of Steel. But when I applied, I didn't get any response. It turns out that that listing had been closed for months. And honestly, I was pretty crushed. Not many fitness brands really need like 2 content creators, but I told myself that, it was all meant to be. There was something better coming in the future. But in reality, I was just like coping. I swear I didn't think that there was a position that could possibly fit better than the other one. Sure, the pay isn't what I would get at a big law firm in New York. But the freedom to do what I do, the respect that I get for my work, and the opportunity to work at this craft every day, it's the dream. I've heard this a million times from like probably every motivational video. Things tend to work out if you just try long enough to let them. Now this is my dream job, but it's not the dream. I still want to build a YouTube channel. I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to build something for myself that I can commit my entire life to. But this job at Bells of Steel is proof that I'm in the right direction. It's proof to myself that my passion can actually pay the bills. But it's not even close to being the finish line, because I'm still pretty early in this journey. So was it worth it? Yeah. Not because I made it, but because I learned so much about myself over this past year. I had so many different experiences. The fact that little wins and little things compound into something so much bigger. For the first time, it feels like I'm actually pointed in the right direction. Building a life that I actually want to live, rather than waiting to retire from a life I don't. And the biggest thing was that the risk that I thought I was taking at the moment of that decision was actually way lower than I'd imagined. I realized that I could be happy on so much less than I thought. and the worst case scenario wasn't so bad. And I think that fear made me lose sight that the odds are kind of in my favor. Now, I don't have all the answers by any means. I'm still so early in this journey, but the exciting thing is that I feel like I'm at the beginning of something. I don't know what, but something that I'm building on my own and not running away to escape from something else.